Hello, friends. Welcome to Coder Thoughts. Today, we are going to talk about some myths that basically just stop you from getting a job and getting a career in a good team. This basically is really important part of your career, right? Because having a work satisfaction is something which the software developers have been just running and running from one place to another. So how do you actually get this thing? One of the thing which you can do is just bust your myths, bust your biases against this myths. So I am today having some myths which some software engineers might have, and I am going to debunk them. Okay, so stay tuned, and hopefully this helps you build a great career. So let's start with the first myth, which is startup always have a steep learning curve. Now, this is not entirely true. It depends on person to person. So it depends on what position you are going to be in that particular startup, what kind of product you're going to do in that particular startup, and which particular team you are in the and also it depends on other factors as well. So most of the time, for example, these startups might skip some of the software engineering things which are not that necessary to release the product, and then this is something which you might not know, especially when you're coming out of the colleges, that you need to do such things, or there are some automations which you could have done, and maybe that particular part is something which you would never learn in that particular startup. So it's not always the same case. There are some startups where you can actually learn a lot of things, but it depends from team to team. So whenever you are choosing a particular work, you should look at the team rather than looking at the company. Okay, so always interview the team just like they're interviewing you. I know having just 10 minutes at the end of the interview is kind of like, how, what kind of question will I ask, and I don't know if they will say the truth. But I guess with practice and with some emotional intelligence or kind of thing, you would better know that okay, this particular team works in a particular way. Also, you can actually ask them how they work, of course, but you also need to pick up a lot of stuff from their 10-minute interview which you get in their 1 hour. So it's an important portion of the interview, because at that particular time you get to know the person even more. If it is a pair coding kind of interview, it's also very much good, because then you also get to interact with the team. That is also something which you need to evaluate, whether you are in the same frequency as the guy, so you know if you are going to be a great match as a team on the same level or maybe higher level, but you need to be in sync, right? So evaluate the team, and this could be a better option as well, but not necessarily. You, if you have some other team which is not startup but you think it can grow you, definitely join that. It is not necessary that you can only grow in a startup. MNCs are also good. Second myth. Second myth is like MNCs are the most stable, and they are the ones where you will work and have the work-life balance and all. It's at the same as the same thing for the previous one. It depends a lot on the team. So there are some MNCs which will basically work, and they might even work in the outdated technologies. And being a software engineer, one of the things which we should always try to do is get to know what is the latest thing, evaluate it, and if it is better, we should always adopt it. So yeah, in MNCs sometimes there are people who are like working on the same thing for the 10 years, and they are reluctant to change their opinions. Yes, you should have your opinions, but if you find something which is more advantageous and good for the company, you should start adopting it. This is more of the agile thing which we should always do, right? Because a company will grow if its processes are more fine tuned, and that is something which will also help you grow. So at the end, what I think is, overall, your team should be such that it should be open to listening to your new thoughts, but at the same time should also question you about certain disadvantages which it could have, and maybe the team thinks that it is a disadvantage, but they give you an opportunity that you explain it to them that why this advantage is not that much of an issue, or maybe that is not an issue at all. So just choose your team wisely, and I think this will help you and the team as well to just go through this particular career path and the project which you're doing very much in a concrete manner. Then the third myth which I would, after this uh, startup and MNC is fine, but like third myth is also kind of interesting and which is also important, and I think this is more important to students as well. That is related to internships. There is a myth, and I have seen a couple of posts where they debate about whether internships should be paid or unpaid. um, there are some people who think that it is okay to have an unpaid internship, especially in the students, which I really feel sad. But I wanted to put my view here. So my view is internship should be paid. Why? Because I think even if you are not interning, just like I was not interning in the companies which I joined, I still didn't knew anything. One of the argument which people who wants internship to be free, unpaid basically, is that these interns don't actually contribute to the company, which is totally false. Because if you see me, whenever I enter a company, I learn something new, I learn a lot, and that is in the first 6 months I don't know what the company is doing. Okay, the company is doing following a certain new process, certain old process. There is a mix of everything. There are certain services you might not know, and overall it all is so much thing that you need to learn here and there, that at the end you do not contribute for the first 6 months, and that is fine. On the same hand, interns also will learn in the first 6 months. One of the reason why company takes internship is because they want to hire someone at a junior level, but having an interview for 5 hours does not help them judge if the candidate is really good or not. Internships extends it to the point that they will be with us for the 6 months, and you will be able to evaluate if they are really good, and it is a win-win situation. The student gets its internship, the company gets a potential candidate who can join, and if they treat the intern really well, the candidate is also more likely to join the company rather than interviewing somewhere else and maybe joining that company just in hope that, hey, you know what, I really enjoyed this company, so instead of betting on some other companies, why not just join this company which is also treating me really good. So internship should be paid. uh, it is also in the benefit of the company that interns come to the company. They also contribute really good, like even if they there are like for 6 months, uh, companies sometimes give them some kind of research projects or something like that, so they are also creating those prototypes. So it is also something which the company would have spent a lot if they would have hired a senior and done those research projects or something like that, right? So they are actually helping the company as well. So I don't feel that internship should be unpaid. And students, if you really find an interview which is unpaid, I will suggest you that please don't go there. Improve yourself so that you interview really well, improve your knowledge, improve all of the things. A lot of companies just want the basics clear when they're looking for an internship, like intern basically. Just focus and learn things and crack the interviews and get paid for your internship. Okay, don't compromise. Internships are fruitful to you as well as the company. You don't have to carry the guilt of it. Then I would like to shift to fourth myth, which is a lot of people do before interviewing at a company, which is Glassdoor reviews. So Glassdoor reviews I have seen are more inclined towards the company rather than the actual team, right? So sometimes what happens is there, if you see in the Glassdoor, the company reviews would be like 4 star, 5 star, okay. And when you actually start to work with the team, you're like, damn, this team is not that good. I hate this team. And then you are like, okay, now I have to look for another opportunity, which is kind of a hassle. And yeah, so just don't look at the Glassdoor reviews, because there could be a company which would have like 1 or 2 stars, but the team would be like really, really good. And you would be like, yes, this is the team I always wish to work with. For example, I start interviewed at Qualys, and at Qualys, when I interviewed, I found the team very intelligent, very supportive of different ideas, and also the team felt very much welcoming. Um, but when I saw the reviews on Glassdoor, it was like 2 star. I was like, what? No, this does not represent Qualys at all. The team I interviewed with was really good. So yeah, and I just told, okay, I won't, I would just ignore the Glassdoor review and just go with this bet, because I like the work which I was going to do. I like the teammates. I was in better sync with them. Like we had really nice fun around, and I definitely knew that I'm going to learn something new with this team. So I was like, let's do it, let's go. And it actually worked well. I mean, I was there with Qualys for a couple of years, but it was really good. I just switched the company because I wanted to move to Germany as my long term goal. But if I was in India, I would probably still be in Qualys. So yeah, it was, I don't know, right now I did not see, but I really had a great team over there. So do not trust Glassdoor reviews. If Glassdoor ever brings a team based reviewing methodology, I don't know in the future. But right now, I would say Glassdoor reviews are just inclined towards a company. And there was one of my friend as well who went to a company which was like 4 star, and everything did not work out for him, right? So this is more of the issue, which people actually just see the Glassdoor reviews, and then they are like, okay, I'm just rejecting this offer because I don't see the company doing well, etc. Just don't do it. Also, in case of startups, these reviews are very few, so you know, you don't really get the right review. So just stay calm and try to find the correct company. Okay, and I hope this video has debunked some of the myths which you had, and this will help you grow your career. Until then, goodbye.